John, we talked a little bit about what you did effectively to automate and streamline your business. As I mentioned a couple times, I'm currently working with you, but can you let our audience know who it is that you're helping and what are the biggest challenges that they come to you with and how it is you help them solve that challenge?
I think lately, and it's been the last probably 3 or 4 months, the biggest challenge most people do is they can't generate leads. That they want to generate leads, and they don't realise that it's not leads they need to generate, it's sales.
Right.
And so what we're trying to do is focus on building a system for them. So they've mostly tried a lot of different things. They probably got a bunch of different websites, and they've got all these things, confusion really. Like, we need to do an audit. We need to figure out what the hell's going on with their business so we can actually start again, but recycle what they've already done. So some people we can get it done really fast. Some people got to start from scratch. And part of what we started to do recently is I've decided to create a kind of a new learning platform called Evolvepreneur. And the idea behind it was to give these people access to courses and a social environment. So it's like a social online marketing product where people can come and learn but also interact. So because most courses are very flat, you don't have any interaction. You go in there, you do your course, and nobody's there.
Yeah.
So we want to try and do that because we wanted to scale it. So we've been testing this process in the last couple of months where we'll take a coaching client on, we'll take them through the process, figure out what they need to do, and what I found is that I'm just repeating myself every time I talk to them. So every time I talk to each of them, the last 5 I've done, I'm going, did I tell you this? Because I'm pretty sure I told someone this.
Yeah.
And it was the same thing. So every single time, it's almost 90% exactly the same. But I can't do that for everybody. You know, I can't only help so many people. So I'm starting to systemize that and develop that into a product for people. So that we can actually, I can do 100,000 people can do it, not just 10.
Right.
And that's really what I find is that I go to a website, I see no call to action. It might look beautiful, but it does nothing. They make no money out of it, and then they just think, oh, I'll do another website, and that'll make me money. The Holy Grail, I call it. And it never happens. Like, they're just always building a website. They're never actually doing any business. And I think that's the crying shame. The amount of money that people spend or waste on that process.
Yeah,
that sort of like makes me mad. So that's really what I'm trying to do. I want to try and show them it's an easier way. What I did's not hard. It just requires a little bit of discipline for a couple of weeks.
Right.
Really, at the end of the day, you got to work through a process. And most of these people really struggle. I find them, you almost got to coach them through it because they will sort of try and go off the rails on you. They'll try to stop it, because they think it's too hard. But it isn't. It's just a process.
Yeah, and I'm a prime example of somebody who. I started with you, and I let other things get in my way. I still haven't finished the task that you left me with. My homework is still not completed yet, and I'm looking to generate some sales from the products that I have sitting there doing actually absolutely nothing with. So I just have to finish that process, which is looking like hopefully this weekend, and actually looking to invest more with you over the next few weeks as well to sort of fast track this whole process.
Exactly. I think it's important to keep on track, and I think that's the thing. We sort of like give customers a kick up the bum and say, hey, where you're at to, what's going on, have you done this? And I think that's part of the process is you got to do it, but life gets in the way.
That's right. And so without naming names, I mean, you talked about your personal success, that $500,000 web page that's completely automated, that's generating you sales upwards of $500,000 a year. So without naming any names, can you talk about some of the successes of some of your clients that they've had or that they've seen since they've implemented some of your systems or used some of your services?
Well, I mean, we've got most of our really big success stories are probably published clients, the ones we've done books for.
Right.
And like we did a book on bunions. Like you want to be niche, right? This is niche stuff. We did a book on bunions, right? And I learned a lot about bunions and I found out it's very expensive surgery to fix bunions, but you don't have to do it. So we wrote a book. I helped the client write a book fixing bunions without surgery.
Okay.
It actually got all the surgeons upset because they feel that they were losing out on, on revenues, I think, not just the fact that, because why not? If you can avoid surgery, why wouldn't you, right?
That's right.
You can always try. And so that was a very interesting one. So we built an entire campaign around that. and he's launching another practice and stuff like that. So, but that gives him a foundation for what he can talk to a customer about. That's his, what I call a conversation starter, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can give them that, and that's pretty much what the clients are doing. One of my clients, he wrote a book called Kids Don't Get Cancer. He speaks in front of about 500,000 people. That's Michael Crossland. And, you know, at the back of the room when he finishes his talk, he sells his book and he gives all the money to charity. So it's quite amazing. And we've shipped like thousands and thousands of books in the last probably 3 or 4 months. And every time we ship a book, every time we do that, you know, a cancer institute or the Camp Quality gets a donation.
Right.
And that's really amazing, because what I'm doing is every time I in a box for Michael, I'm actually helping someone, which is quite amazing to do.
Nice.
And another one was one of the most viewed LinkedIn profiles in the world. It's Chris J. Reed. It's its own postcode or zip code. It's so long. It's huge. I've never seen anybody with so much. But the offers LinkedIn services. So we've actually, we did a book called LinkedIn Mastery for Entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And we're organically selling 100 Kindle books just off the back of search. And plus books being ordered all the time online, and we've got a free shipping offer now. And then we build a membership system for them, so then they can actually start charging money on autopilot,
right?
And starting to convert leads. And so that the success is have a book up or some way of starting that conversation,
mm-hmm.
and then move through that process, but then have a back-end system like for ClickFunnels. We can build a membership site, so we can build a whole funnel out for them. And if you go to my free book offer, you'll see that you'll go into a free membership site and you actually get a heap of content. That's really what it's about, is showing the customer you can do what you can do.
Right.
And show them up front, because you can't show them any other way. If they're not going to respond to you any other way, you have to show them up front.
So a lot of the clients that you have, you're implementing sort of the same systems that you implemented for your own personal use, sort of using that LinkedIn service, driving them to lead pages.
Yep.
That sort of thing, getting them to.
What I learned.
Sorry.
It's what I learned through the whole training process I did. After doing 60 courses, it all came out the same thing.
Right.
But nobody really does it much. Like, you think, well, everybody would be doing that, but you'd be surprised. It's quite rare to find somebody who's got a great system, and all together. Like they might have a great website, but no, you fill out a form, you never get an email from them.
Right.
You don't get what you fill the form out for. So there's lots of pieces that can break in that process without that customer journey and laying out that system. That's what I find is usually the missing piece, is that it's not connected together.
So did you map all this out sort of on paper before you implemented it? How did sort of all this transpire?
I've got a little program I found called Scrapple, which is something that's done by Scrivener, and basically this program lets me draw it out.
Okay.
And I always do that with a client. So I sit there with a client and I fire it up on their computer and we draw it. And because I'm a really bad drawer, I can't draw I never make it. I had never a career as an artist.
Yeah.
So my drawings are boxes and arrows, right? I think Russell Bronson's draws these great little images. The best I can do is a box.
Yeah.
But we draw it out and just show them the big picture and start connecting things up. And that usually makes a big difference when you visually can see what's going on. And mostly that's all you need. Like most clients say, okay, great, let's have that.
Yeah.
And then leave it to us to sort it out for them.
Okay.
So get that done for them.
So you offer coaching services along with done-for-you services?
Yeah, so we have a done with you or done for you.
Okay.
Right. So it's a bit of a combination. And often it starts off with a done with you and ends up being a done for you.
I hear that one.
Yeah.
I could be taking that same journey here very shortly.
Exactly. And I think that's fair enough, because would you pay yourself to do some work, right? So what would be the hourly rate for you to do some of this work? It's probably lower than you'd expect to get paid. So get someone else to do it.
That's right.
Whether that's an outsourcer that might have to do some work or whatever you have to do. Don't think you can do it all yourself. Part of that coaching process is to figure out how can we leverage what you've got in your business already to get these things done. Don't just do them yourself. Find someone to help you.
Exactly. Well, John, that's all the time that we have for today's show. Just going to close out. There's a couple comments here from Lockwood, as usual. McCabe looks beautiful but does nothing. Oh, thank you, Andy. At least I look good. And this is the best bunion show I've ever seen on Facebook.
There you go. But there's the book.
So make sure you get that bunion book from John there, Lockwood, so you can you can avoid getting surgery. So, like I said, that's all the time that we have for today. John, I personally want to thank you for being on the show and sharing your journey and talking to us about automation. Like I said, we'll post all the contact links for John. If you want to connect with John after the show, we'll have all of his contact links, all of his social media profile, as well as some of the stuff that we talked about today. Some of the different programs that John uses, we'll also put those links in the comments as well. I know John has those all available, so maybe at the end of the show, he can help me out and post those in there for me. So everyone give John some love, give him the thumbs up, the heart icon, and let's thank John for being on the show. And do me a favor and share this with all your friends on Facebook. And John, it's been great having you on the show, and I look forward to catching up with you actually very soon to get my project finished off. But thank you very much for being on the show, especially getting up early, 5 a.m. in Australia time and being on the show. I really appreciate it.
No problem. I'm happy to be here and get to talk about all this stuff. Great.
So everyone, I'll be right back in just a minute with today's closing remarks. Now, thank you for joining me on today's John A. McCabe Show, where we talked with a successful entrepreneur about their individual journey, the challenges that they faced, the obstacles that they overcame, and what it takes to become a truly successful entrepreneur. Now, for most entrepreneurs, we want to create our own life, create our own path, and do what we can to reach our desired outcome, which is generally freedom. Freedom to choose what we want to do, when we want to do it, and with whom we want to do it. A life that's full of options and full of choices, where we worry less about money and more about the quality of time that we spend with each other. A great way to make that happen is to leverage other people's knowledge, time, and skill sets. Now, step one to reaching your freedom life is to realize you can't do it alone. Working with a coach or being involved in masterminds is a great way for entrepreneurs to move their business forward. Now, a coach can help you shorten the time frames to get from where you are today to where you want to be. While being part of a mastermind is meant to bring entrepreneurs together, all with the common goal of helping each other move forward in their business. Now, the second step to create the life you envision for yourself as an entrepreneur is to implement systems into your business so you can streamline your operations, leverage systems, and free up your time to focus on your family, having fun, and the highest leverage activities in your business. The activities that get you your biggest return on your time invested, the ones that really make you money. Now, sometimes we just don't know what systems we need, how to implement those systems, or even have the time to find out what is needed. Working with a coach or consultant that understands, uses and specializes in these systems, and that can streamline your operations can really help you save time, aggravation, and make you a lot more money. Now, having a system or strategy that allows you to leverage just 15 hours of your time into enough repurposed content to get you seen, get you heard, and get you noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device is a great example of leverage. Now just imagine a system where you invest just 15 hours of your time, and the end result, you're a #1 best-selling author, you have a successful podcast, and you have enough content to get you seen, heard, and noticed anywhere, anytime, on any device, automatically attracting more attention, giving more value, generating more leads, which enables you to attract an abundance of paying customers. Now, this is also known as the Authority Acceleration Blueprint. To find out more about the Authority Acceleration Blueprint, my coaching program or mastermind, then contact me via my website, johnamccabe.com, or connect with me through my show's Facebook page. Now, again, I want to thank you for joining us today, and I look forward to seeing you on tomorrow's show when I have another great guest on discussing their business and accelerating their authority. So have yourself an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.